Hi, everyone. Welcome. This is Surviving Life Today podcast. I am Kelly McFarland. Whatever you're doing today, what you're here for is to discuss how we're all surviving life. Kelly McFarland, I am an anthropologist, researcher, small business owner, farmer, local food advocate. So today, our focus is on America. What does it mean to be American? What is the American dream all about, right? And this is a pointed chat in Surviving Life Today podcast because of the present war to determine what America stands for. So we are at a very big impasse in America where the people in power, the current administration's approval rating is at an all-time low, and which is, I think we might be at the lowest approval rating in the history of America. Like, we have really gotten to a point, and this was largely through tariffs on the economy, through Immigration and Custom Enforcement and the Department of Homeland Security occupying America as somewhat terrorist organizations, and through the release of the Epstein files, which is a sordid scandal cover-up of all of the people in power, basically, showing the organized crime around what they did for the past 30 years. Okay. So all of these things are happening on the front of who's in control. And as an anthropologist who teaches a course on American culture and society, I have been really tuned in to perceptions of who gets to say what America is, what America stands for, and even ideas of the American dream. And so my focus here is just really on, like, where are we at? Okay. And so I am, on one hand, fascinated by the presence of Immigration and Custom Enforcement and the presence of the Department of Homeland Security, DHS, across the land. And at the same time, the people who are in control of this land saying that they want to control all the other land around it. Okay, so recently the President of the United States put a map where he had taken all of the different countries in North and South America and put the United States flag on them as though the United States owns all of those countries. And it was in order to create a vision of an empire, which, just as an aside, I have never heard any of the people of the United States saying that they want an empire. Like, this isn't something that anyone, I hear them saying that they want veterans to be taken care of, and I hear them saying that they want us to figure out a pathway for people to enter the country and become legal citizens. And I hear all of these things, but I've never heard an inkling about wanting to be an empire. However, I do find it fascinating that these organizations, DHS and ICE, are terrorizing the United States, while at the same time the United States is wanting to be an empire over many more countries that are just like the people that they don't like who are in the United States that they're trying to capture. So that in itself is kind of a jarring juxtaposition of where we are as far as the administration, as far as those who are in control at this present moment, because it denotes an idea that there is an authoritarian power grab, and the authoritarian power grab is not only for the United States, but it's for the entire Western Hemisphere, which there is an example of the United States capturing the president of Venezuela, who none of the people of the United States were interested in capturing the president of Venezuela. We didn't want any of the oil. We are not seeing any of the profit for the oil, which is going directly into the administration's pocket. So that really seems like a peculiar thing for the administration to have done. If it is because they believe that they want an empire of all of the Americas, then I guess that would make sense. But then capturing people who they think are from Venezuela and sending them to Venezuela is in direct contrast to what they're doing, right? So we have like just this really confused, like, what is America doing from the top? We have no idea what America is doing from the top. They have gone off the rails, they are going rogue, and they do not have the support of the American people. At the same time, we have many people who are more tuned into pop culture, let's say. Like, I don't know how to put this. We have many people in the United States who are online, on social media, in different chat rooms with each other, who interact with on a daily basis many people from diverse backgrounds. And for instance, we had Bad Bunny at the Super Bowl. It's so interesting with the end of the Bad Bunny's performance at the Super Bowl, because he talks about we are America, and then he names off all of the countries in the Americas, from South America to North America, starting at the bottom, going all the way up, right? And so in this interpretation of America, it is also North and South America joined in Bad Bunny's interpretation and in the administration's interpretation of their empire over here, right? But in Bad Bunny's interpretation, they're equal voices. Okay. So just to kind of step back from this idea for just a second, there's this article that we have in class that I think it's from Wired, and it talks about the journalist from Wired went to an airport bar once, and he told a lady at the bar that he's American, and she said, "I'm American too." And he said, "Oh, where are you from?" And she said, like, I don't even know, Colombia or something. And he was like, "What?" And so, she's South American, I'm American. That was the response. And we talk about that in class a lot. And the students that I've had are like, well, that's, they're not the United States of America. We're just shortening the idea of the United States of America just to America. But I think this current situation really is shining a light on this idea of who is American and how is American. How is America? What does America mean? What do we mean when we say the United States of America? So in the process of thinking about this and just kind of thinking about what's going on in day-to-day life, and, really, I have to admit that I have a lot of meltdowns because the world is burning. But in the process of day-to-day life, I have found myself asking myself quite a bit, what is it? Why do I love America so much? And if you know me, or if you've seen any of my previous videos about traveling around when I was younger, when I was young, I traveled all across the United States. I lived in many different places. And the reason I did that is because I love America. And I really do love the United States. And I have to say that I love what they're trying to get rid of. I love the diversity of the United States. I love it that I can drive into different communities of people and live amongst them. I love it that in different regions of the United States, they are different. I love it that we have a land of diversity. And I love it that we can innovate with each other to make this world a fantastic place. My grandmother was probably one of the most patriotic people that I ever met. And she was Puerto Rican and she didn't speak English very well. As a matter of fact, she spoke English so poorly that she was afraid to speak English in public because she was afraid that people would make fun of her. But I never questioned if she was a United States citizen. And I never asked if that was not American. I think, personally, that a lot of the confusion of what is American comes from these different entities in control who try to rewrite what it is and are trying to control the narrative of who we are and what we make America. Because honestly, I don't like who's in control. And until I started studying anthropology and I started learning about true communities of people and the true history of the United States and the true way that this all got to be how it was, I really couldn't stand it. I hated learning history about old white men. I just did not. There was nothing there for me to learn. There was no common anything. But now that I have a deeper understanding, I'm fascinated with it. And so when I think about what is America, I don't think about who's in control. I think about the people that I have met, the different communities of people that I have interacted with, and the beautiful places that I have been, and the beautiful things that we have done together as a society. Okay. And so then that takes me to the American dream. And the American dream is something that we talk about in class a lot. With the American Culture and Society class, I'd say the American dream and the American spirit are two of our main focuses. And a lot of the time when I introduce the subject of the American dream, the students are like, what are you even talking about? Because they don't realize that there's discussion about the American dream everywhere around us all the time. And it's one of those things where, like, after we talk about it, the students come back the next day and they're like, oh my gosh, everybody talks about the American dream. They won't shut up, and that's absolutely true. But what is the American dream today? Before things got really, really crazy, I would ask, is the American dream being a person who talks about their life? Is the American dream being somebody on social media, content creator? Is that the American dream now? What is the American dream? Is it still owning a house, getting married and having kids and having 2 cars? Is that the American dream? Where are we at? And this is an important thought. This is an important thing because the American dream, right? So I already talked about how what I love about America is the diversity of America and how we're all so, so different and how we can innovate together to change the world. Well, the American dream is kind of capturing what that goal is. What is our goal to change the world? What is our goal to innovate together? What are we trying to do here? Right now, I think that we are in a free fall about what the American dream is. Because if you want to say that it's to be somebody at the top, then you have to think about these Epstein files. And the Epstein files is a horrible scandal about human trafficking. I'm not going to get into it because I don't know what I can put on YouTube or anywhere. But that's a huge scandal cover-up where predators are harming children. And it's from the most powerful people in our nation. So if the American dream is to be one of the most powerful people in the nation, this is your juxtaposition. This is what you're comparing that against. And is that really where we're at? Are we still headed in that way? Or is what's happening right now and us seeing not only the failure of the economy, not only the people in control for some reason trying to create an empire when we can't even take care of ourselves. But then also the people who are leading society being involved in some of the most treacherous and heinous crimes that we have ever thought of. It brings us to this point where we really need to step back and reassess, what is our dream? What is our dream? What are our next steps? If our next steps are to correct this path, then this is the opportunity for people who have ideas for what's next online. What system should we be using? What banks should we be using? What interaction should we be having? Where should the food system go? How should we fix what has happened? How should we repair this so that we can continue? And do we want to continue down this path, or do we need to course correct? The American dream right now is changing. I don't know where it's headed. I know that the past American dream that I talked about even last spring when I taught the class is no longer. There is too much that has happened and too much fallout around that what has happened for that to be maintained. So right now, we're really rewriting that. And the next point, what does it mean to be American? To me, being American is someone who loves culture trade, who loves living in a diverse place with many different people that I can learn from. Someone who might not agree with different ideas, values that different groups have, but will not persecute them, and agrees that we can live here harmoniously. Being an American is innovating and inventing the future that we can have. And being American is looking at the truth of what has happened in order to correct it. We have the opportunity right now to rewrite that. We have not, in the past of America, looked at the truth of what has happened, and we have not corrected it. And arguably, that is a big reason why we are here today. But right now, we have that opportunity. And we have many, many people who have many different professions and aspirations and knowledge in different areas that can help us to get there. So right now, it's not about pushing people aside to be the one at the top. It's about, how do we rewrite this story? How do we correct this? And how do we create a vision for the future? So, what do you think? What do you think? Are we going to be okay, y'all? Are we going to make it? I feel like we're going to make it. I feel like even if right now things don't work out how we want to, I feel like our next generation is watching and learning and seeing. And you can't give up hope. We can't give up hope that we're going to win this, and we're going to be the America that we want to be. Okay? So this ended up taking a crazy turn, and I got a lot more serious than I thought I was going to be. But thank you for watching. If you have any questions or comments about what does it mean to be American, or what is the American dream right now, please leave them below. Hype me up, like, share, all of those beautiful things. And until next time, I hope that you survive and thrive in all that you do. Take care.